First off, Thomas, congratulations. I know that this has to be a tremendous honor for you to take over the helm at one of the most storied high school football programs in the state. What did it mean to you when you heard you were approved here tonight?
It's surreal. It's a tradition I love and respect, and I'm happy to be coming home to fight with the kids that want to continue that tradition.
So you know all about playing at Jeannette. You were a 2010 graduate. You started at quarterback. You played all over for some really good teams back in the day. What do you remember from your experience as a player at Jeannette that could now help you as the head coach of the program?
Sure. So I got to play for Ray Ritz and Roy Hall, and I just remember the coach that they were to me and how they treated me in the program and really showed me the process of how to become a Jayhawk. And not only the head coaches, but the assistant coaches that were there and the players that were there, and really brought me along and taught me how to be a Jayhawk and how to be a winner.
And you mentioned the name Roy Hall. What a terrific career he had, a player, an assistant coach, and then recently a longtime, very successful head coach as well. He decided to finally step down after that tremendous run. And I know that everyone was sad to see him go and was curious who would take over next. Did you talk to Ray at all about it? Or excuse me, did you talk to Roy at all about his decision? And is he going to be a guy that maybe can help you making his transition?
Absolutely. I've had many private conversations with Roy dating back to June, and I've met at his house recently when I knew that I was going to get approved, and he's a class act. He's helped me already tremendously, and he will continue to help and be a part of this thing moving forward.
One of the big stories around all of Westmoreland County and WPIAL football was that Jeannette had an unusual down year. The numbers really were significantly hit. There were so many players who moved out of the district, transferred to play elsewhere, that it was a little strange not to see Jeannette as a title contender. What are sort of the goals that you have in the outlook for this program after a really down season?
Sure. So we got to go back to our goals. And when I say that, hey, we're going to D you up, I'm saying that for the D, we're going to develop you as a person, a student, and a player. The U is going to be for uncommon. We want to be uncommon in everything we do as a person, as a player, as a student. And P is for persevere, right? Failure is not final. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal, but the courage to move forward is what counts. I think Churchill said that. And I think we need to get back to the drawing board and really just working hard for these kids and with these kids and loving them up along the way. That's what it's about.
I mentioned you had a good career as a player at Jeannette, went on to play in the President's Athletic Conference at Waynesburg, and then recently you've been an assistant coach at Chartiers Valley. How do you think your experience after graduating from Jeannette will benefit you in this position?
I think I've learned a lot from Rick Shepis at Waynesburg University. I got to play with him. He was my position coach and head coach. Spent a lot of meeting hours with him, just knowing his system. And he's been at places like Massillon and has been taught by Jim Tressel at Youngstown State. And he continues to be a mentor for me. And Chart Valley, what a special place that was to be able to do the same with Coach Canals. He's the head coach there, and with his staff for 4 years, they've really taught me on why we coach, and that's to be with the kids and do it for the kids.
I know we're touching base just minutes after you were approved as the head coach officially, but have you given any thought about who you'll have on staff?
Yes. So I'm at Panera right now. I had a couple meetings tonight, so I'm very actively meeting with people and going over philosophies, and we're hoping to make those announcements soon.
I know that a lot of the talk was that it's not necessarily a requirement, but it's almost a given that if you're going to be a head coach at Jeannette, you have to have ties to Jeannette. Do you look at the same thing with the assistant coaches?
Of course, we want Jayhawks that want to be here and want to coach here, and of course we're looking at Jayhawks and a couple other people that will bring a lot to the table, I feel.
We had mentioned that you have experience most recently as a coach at Chartiers Valley. That's a much larger school than Jeannette, but it seems like numbers across Western Pennsylvania have kind of diminished in terms of the high school football participation. Being at one of the smaller schools, is that a concern? And is there anything that you can do maybe to recruit more kids so that you don't have to worry about a numbers crunch for future seasons?
Sure. I think if you're doing it the right way, I think you'll get an interest in kids coming out and really just doing it the right way, loving up the kids and showing that you're there for them. You know, trust is going to be big, is to earn their trust. And once you earn their trust, they'll want to come play for you. So that's going to be big for sure.
Aside from the obvious of you returning to coach at the school that you graduated from, what else was appealing about this position?
I think I really felt a sense of responsibility to come home and fight with these kids, being that I would graduate from there, and just hearing the story of what they did last year as a staff. I think Roy did a great job putting the season on, even through adversity, and those kids stayed and fought. And I think that was very attractive for me, that there's already that type of character on the team, and hopefully they can all come back this year. We'll do the same.
Talking to the new head coach of the Jeannette Jayhawks, Thomas Paulone. When you go back to your time as a player, what's your fondest memory?
Fondest memory is just being with the players that I played with. I think, you know, when I started at Jeannette, my sister was even a water girl. So it was very family-oriented environment. The coaches that coached me, I already spoke to them, but just the players, you know, some of your favorite people in your life you played with in high school. So just going to practice, winning games, and going through the process together, 2-a-days. It's amazing that they don't do the traditional 2-a-days anymore, but you were there from sun up to sundown for 2 weeks, and you really built some special bonds that way.
And I'm sure, since you're a native son of Jeannette, you've probably already heard from a lot of people in the community, and you've probably reached out to some of those same people as well. But as a whole, what's your message to the Jeannette community going forward?
Going forward, I think, you know, why I'm here is I really visited my purpose in coaching. And that's because I want to raise, I want to use the greatest game in the world, football, right, to raise young men. And I think if we all that have that message together, I think we can continue to grow the tradition and protect the tradition and have a team this year and play really hard and really do it for the kids of Jeannette.
Thomas, thank you so much for doing this. Once again, congratulations, and we'll look forward to seeing your team this fall.
Thanks, Sean.
That's Thomas Paulone, the new head coach of the Jeannette Jayhawks football team.